Hi everyone! With this section, now we are starting to learn Python. First of all, we need to learn the data types and basic data structures to solidify our Python knowledge. In this lesson, we will start to our Python journey by learning the integers and floating point numbers in Python. So, let's get started. After we learned the integers and floating point numbers, we are going to see the basic math operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So, let's start with the integers then. The integers and floating point numbers in Python are exactly the same as in mathematics. So the integers are like the whole numbers, but they also include negative numbers and 0. As you could see in here, -16, 35, 0, 7, 198, and these are all the integer numbers. All you need to know is that the fraction parts are not allowed in integers. That is the different part of the integers from the floating point numbers. As I said, integers can be negative, positive, or 0. We can put that all together like this. As we can see in here, the negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. So, what is a float or floating point numbers then? As the name implies, floating point numbers that contain any decimal points that can float left or right. For instance, 2.4, -1.62, 3.14, and goes on like that. With using these numbers, integers and floats, we can perform our various math operations like these operations. And let's go to our live code session and make our basic math operation examples. For instance, what if we want to make addition operation? To do this, I write 3 plus 5. And I'm pressing Shift Enter combination. As you remember from our previous lesson, the result will be 8 as you can see. So that's easy, right? You already know this from math. In here, I have to say something about Python programming. Every code that can be executed is an expression in Python. So in here, 3 plus 5 is an also expression so that we can execute this code in here. In the same way, we write 3 minus 5. This is also an expression. As I said, each code that can be executed is an expression in Python. So we are going to explain expressions in detail in our next lessons. So I'm running this again by pressing Shift Enter key combination. As you can see, our result is -2 printed on the screen. We were able to make our subtraction operation. Up to now, we have learned addition and subtraction operations. Then let's go ahead and let's make a multiplication operation. We write 3 multiplied by 5. And when I run it, by pressing Shift Enter, it will be printed 15 as result on the screen. Or let's write 3 times 4 times 5. When I run this, I see that the result will be 60 as you can see. So what's left? The division operation. So let's make a division example then. I write 28 divided by 7. When I run this by pressing Shift Enter as always, the result will be 4 as you can see. But if you noticed, the result is being represented as a float instead of integer. The result would be 4 instead of 4.0. We are going to see why this happened in our next lesson in detail. All you have to know right now, this is due to the Python's internal working mechanism. This is just a feature developed to make more accurate calculations. So as you can see, these are our basic math operations with using integers. So let's make our examples with using floating point numbers. We write 3.2 plus 4.6. When I run this, the result will be 7.8, as you can see in here. Or I write 2.1 plus 15.9. When I run this, as you can see, our result will be 18.0. So let's write another example then. I write 2.1 plus 4.2. When I run this, as you can see, our result is 6.3. You don't need to worry about this representation. This is just related with floating points in computer itself. This number is very small and negligible. And while Python is making calculations on floating point numbers, trying to show the result more precisely. The floating points are shown in this way in computers in order to just make more accurate calculations. So these numbers are not important right now. We are already going to see our methods to show this result display as just 6.3. I'm saying that for this example with just one precision in our next lessons. So let's make a subtraction with floating point numbers. I write 1.4 minus 3.5. When I run this, as you can see, our result is minus 2.1, as you can see. So what else we can do? Let's do a multiplication example with using floating numbers. So I write 2.3 multiplied by 3.5. When I run this, the result is 8.05. Let's do a division operation then. I write 7.4 divided by 2.5. When I run it, the result is 2.96. Let's make one more example as last. I write 53 divided by 6.1. When I run it, our result is a floating point number again. As you can see, these operations are the same as in the calculator. You can make your own examples in here. So for instance, we can mix them up. Let's say that 3 plus 5 plus 9 minus 4 multiplied by 3. When I run it, our result is 5, as you can see. Here is our 4 basic math operations with using integers and floats. So these are just our 4 basic math operations, as you can see. We are going to see further math operations in our upcoming lessons. In our next lessons, we are going to see what a variable is and how to create and declare variables and how to use in Python programming. So that's all for now for this lesson. See you in our next lessons.